Hi everyone. Hey, I'm jumping on today. I wanted to run through with you today how to unbox your Thermomix TM6. Okay, the reason I'm doing this is not everyone gets the opportunity to have a consultant actually unbox their Thermomix with them for various reasons. And so I wanted to share this with you just to share some hints and tips and as I go through and how to actually use all the accessories that go with your Thermomix to maximize your investment that you have made in this incredible machine. So I hope you enjoy this, and I look forward to teaching you a little bit more about your Thermomix. Okay, so when I first start off with my Thermomix, all right, what I love to do is actually just run through, and I'm actually going to start at the back. See this little cord right at the back here? You may not know, but this cord actually extends out a meter. Goes right out to, you actually see it'll come right out to the red mark. So you can actually push that back in as well. Push that back in there. Go. So you can extend it out. And if you want to, it means that you can actually move your machine around. If you've got it in an area that just needs to extend out a bit further, that's a great idea. Okay. Now, when you're moving your machine, you may have seen that I do that. You've actually got this awesome little handle at the top here, and just help it by grabbing that base as well. All right, you can do that, or if you prefer, you've got the little ergonomic handles on the side and you can lift your machine up as well. Okay, so that's when you move your machine. Just don't drag it across your surface. So don't drag it across the surface, because the scales are actually in the feet of the machine. And you don't want to damage those scales by actually dragging it across the kitchen bench, whatever it might be. All right. So that's how you move your machine. Move it around like that. All right. Now, first off, what I'm going to show you is actually how to undo your bowl. So your bowl, when you're lifting your bowl out of the cradle, try and lift your bowl straight up rather than dragging it out like that. The reason for that is that the little pins on the base of your bowl, these little guys, they actually connect through to the machine at the base here, and that can, by pulling it out at a bit of an angle, can actually rip the rubber off this. Just try and remember, when you're taking it out of the cradle, just lift it straight up. All right, I'll move this over to the side. Now, this is your bowl. This is the most important part of your Thermomix space, in my opinion. It is awesome. Okay, what you can do, this whole thing can go straight into your dishwasher, which I love. All the accessories can go straight into your dishwasher. Or you can obviously hand wash your bowl as well. The most important thing to remember is when it comes out, just make sure that the pins here are dry. So give those a little dry off before it goes back onto your machine. All right. Now, when it comes to undoing your bowl, because you can pull this apart, pop it in the dishwasher, separate it. What I do is with my dominant hand, so whether you're left-handed or right-handed, use your dominant hand to actually hook around. See how my thumb's doing that? Okay, actually hook around the top. And then underneath, they're amazing. They've thought of everything. See how there's a little hole here? That's actually for your fingers. And then you'll notice underneath the handle, see the ridges? That's for your thumb. Okay, now what I do is actually, and make sure your bowl's upright, because once you undo that base, your blades are going to fall out. So don't want them falling on your toes. All right, so with your bowl upright, hold your handle and literally twist your hands away from each other, okay? So literally just twist it away and the base will come upright. With your dominant hand, grab the knob on your blade and it can come out like that. All right, so that's how it comes apart. It comes apart into 3 pieces. And what I do, actually, you can pop this in your cutlery drawer if you wish, or actually pop that into the base, and I'll sit that in the top shelf of my dishwasher. And then the bottom one goes into the base of the dishwasher. Now, putting it back together again, just do it in reverse. So grab your knob with your dominant hand, okay, and you see how it's got a little marked base? Pop that in there and give it a little turn, okay, around until it sits down flush. All right. Then flip the whole thing over onto your dominant hand and see this little lip here on your base, okay. what I want you to do is I want you to line it up. Can you see that triangle there just to the side of the handle? Okay, with your bowl flipped onto your dominant hand, I want you to line up that lid with that triangle until it just sits down flush like that. Okay, just like that. And then I just want you to squeeze it together like that. All right, so that is how you pop your bowl back together. Done. That's as technical as it gets. So if you've got that, you've done really well. So give yourself a round of applause. All right. So now that we've got our bowl back in, now we're going to actually start to look at all the accessories that go into it. Okay. I will make special note. Now, this is a blade cover. It doesn't come with your Thermomix, but it is an accessory that you might like to purchase. Okay. It is available from the Mix-It shop. And what this one is fantastic for is for slow cooking or sous vide. Okay. And how that goes in, just quickly show you before I do the other accessories. I see the little prongs on the bottom. Okay, that's actually what goes down face first, basically, into the bowl. Okay, you just literally pop it in and give it a little spin until it sits in there flush. Okay. That's your blade cover. Okay, I just mentioned that one. At the moment, that doesn't come as standard, but you might like to purchase that one if you like doing slow cooking. Okay, but what does come with your Thermomix is, okay, this is our butterfly whisk. Now, this is awesome. I love my butterfly whisk. It is fantastic for whipping, making mayonnaises, doing your smoothies, making curds, and that thing stirring. It's awesome. All right, but there is actually a special way in which it goes into your bowl. If you see the little hole on the base there, that actually goes on top of the knob. I'm just going to undo my bowl so you can see it a little bit easier. Just pretend, imagine, if you will, that this is inside the bowl. All right. Now, see how you've got 4 blades, okay? 3 scoop down, and then you've got 1 blade that's got a bump in it, and that's called the high blade. The way your butterfly whisk goes on is you have a look at your high blade. Okay, one side is blunt, and the other side is sharp. So what you want to do is you want to put your butterfly whisk on the back of the high blade. So it just sits like that, just sits like that. So that just sits at the back of the high blade like that. And then what you can do is you can give it a little tiny turn and it actually locks it in. All right. So I'll show you what it looks like in your bowl. Back on, line up my face and click it in. All right, so there, see my high blade down here, okay? I'm going to pop my butterfly whisk in and then just give it a tiny little turn and it locks it in. All right, so that's your butterfly whisk. That's fantastic. Good thing to remember this one. Now, you'll notice on here it's got on there a little 4 symbol. The reason for that is when you're manually cooking, when you're using your blade manually, inside a recipe, it will only go to maximum speed 4. When you're using it manually, please remember it's maximum speed 4. And a good way to remember it is that butterflies have 4 wings. There you go. So hopefully that remembers. So that's maximum speed 4 for that one. Okay, your next one. Okay, so this is your simmer basket or steam basket. People call it steamer basket as well. So your simmering basket is fantastic. So what it does, it actually sits straight inside your bowl like that. Just like that, okay? And it's awesome. So you might like to have some water boiling in here, have your potatoes going, put your lid on, you can have your aroma on top. People do rice in theirs as well. So that's your simmer basket. And it's also used, sometimes you'll have recipes that say to put the simmer basket on top and it sits like that as well. And that's just a safety feature. But what I will show you is another accessory, and this is your spatula. Okay, but note the spatula's got this funny hook on there. And it's like, what's that for? The reason for that, and it's very cool, is if you see in the simmer basket and it's got that little hole there, just there, what this does is your spatula, so imagine you've got something super hot in there, your spatula actually feeds in like that, hooks into the hole and lifts it out of the bowl. So imagine if you had something in your bowl, you just hook it in, lift it out, and you can actually angle it if you want to drain whatever the ingredients are that are in there as well. So that's your simmer basket using your spatula. Okay, pop that one over. We're gradually working our way up through all the accessories. All right, so this is your lid. This is the lid that comes with a little red rubber seal that goes around, and that can just sit any which way on the bowl. It doesn't have to be locked in, doesn't have to be at a particular angle or anything like that, just as long as the handle, this handle, is away from the arms. Okay. The next accessory I'm going to show you, this guy, this is called a splash guard. All right, so the splash guard actually came out with the TM6. You can use it on your TM5 as well. The TM6 came with your splash guard, and it is a safety feature. It is awesome. It's actually designed just to sit quite loosely on the top there. I will show you. I'm just going to turn my machine on very quickly. See how the arms come up and lock it in. It is still loose, just sits on there like that. Okay, I'm going to stop my machine. Okay, but what it does is it allows liquids to escape and whatever's inside reduce, or when it does high heat cooking, and it just stops any splashing that might come from your machine. So that's that one. Okay, the next little guy is your measuring cup. Okay, these are super cool. They are fantastic. They actually lock into your lid. They can be used as a measuring cup. You've got 50 ml and 100 ml measure inside that cup, and it sits literally just locks into the lid. And what I love about it is it doesn't fall out, which is awesome. Okay, what I will show you is, see how there's a little lip on the edge of your measuring cup. Okay, that little point is a really good indicator for how you get your measuring cup out of your lid. You can wrestle them out, okay? But a really good way is if you use your index finger, pop it into that lid and pull it, put it at the lip, pull it where the lip is, and it'll come out easily. Okay. All right, I'll take that off. The final piece of the puzzle when it comes to accessories is our varoma. All right, now this is your steamer attachment, and this maximizes your bowl. It's amazing. So you've got 2.2 litres in your bowl, and you've got 3.3 litres in your varoma. All right, it literally just sits on top of the bowl like that. Really important part is to make sure you can see the grill. You can see some grill holes through there, so the steam can actually come up through the bowl into your varoma and let the steam through. Okay. There is another layer. Now, you don't need to have this included, but there is another layer that can pop in the top there, so you do even more cooking, and then your lid sits on top like that. Okay. So if you wanted to, you could have like your water boiling, you can have sauce or soup down the bottom, everyone. You can have potatoes. You have veggies, and up the top here you could have chicken tenderloins cooking. Okay, you do all at once, which is awesome. I quite often steam a chicken in my varoma, so I take the insert out and steam the chicken inside. Okay, they're all your accessories, which is awesome. Then they all come with your Thermomix. Okay. The one thing I want to show you as well is, if you haven't noted already, which is awesome, is inside your bowl. See inside, they've got some little marks up the side there. If you have a little look inside yours, there's a little dot that says 500 mils, a dash for a litre, 1.5, 2, and 2.2. And now that 2.2, the maximum there, is the maximum amount that you should have that when you are cooking. So if you've got liquids in your bowl, make sure it doesn't go above that max line when you pop on your lid. Okay, so they're all our accessories. Just move these over. Okay. So with your Thermomix, you'll get your varoma, you get the simmer basket, you get the splash guard, and you get your butterfly whisk and spatula. All right. Let me just pop them in. Now, what I'm going to show you now is actually more about the machine itself, which is super exciting. Okay, so with the machine itself, let me turn it around so I can just see a little bit better for you. Okay, you've got 3 dials along the front. So you've got your time, your temperature, and your speed. Okay, and you might note that when I tap on them, can you see how that enlarges? Okay, that's what you do when you're activating that particular dial. All right, so you tap on the time, your temperature, and your speed. Now you might have, so to change the settings, you actually just turn your selector, and you might have some time set on there. You can turn your temperature outside a recipe. You can turn the temperature right round to 125 degrees. It is called varoma temperature, okay, or steaming temperature. Sometimes recipes call them as well. It can be a little bit confusing to newbies because it's called varoma temperature. You don't need to have your varoma on top to turn it to the maximum temperature. So you should just remember that was like your maximum temperature. Inside a recipe with your TM6, inside a recipe, it actually goes to 160 degrees. So the high heat temperature in some of the high heat special TM6 recipes is 160 degrees. And that's where you get that really beautiful depth of flavor and caramelizing your onions and able to do beautiful, beautiful recipes, beautiful depths of flavor in your meats, etc. So that's your caramelizing. Okay, and then your speed, you can turn that right round, and I'll just check I don't have anything in there, but you can turn that right round to, let me just zero that off because I don't want that, but I can turn, oh, that's a little tip as well. So when you hold on to, see I've got 20 seconds on there, I just hold on to it, it actually zeroes it off as well. Okay, but you can turn it right round to speed 10. So let me show you how that. There we go, right round. Bang, and that's your milling speed. It is super fast. It goes at 10,000 RPM, super, super fast. However, you can start off like at the slowest possible speed, and that's your stirring. And that's your stirring mode. Okay, what I'll show you down underneath here, you might note, can you see there's a little blade icon underneath that? I hope you can. You tap on that, okay, what happens is it's full reverse enabled, and the blades inside go from the chopping with the blades to when you push the reverse enable, it actually goes to stirring, and the blades will reverse and the blunt side will stir first. So that's your reverse enable that you can turn on as well. Okay, so that's the element. Now you don't need to have time set, as you may have known, you may have noticed. You don't need to have time set for your machine to work. If you do have time on there, it will count down. If you don't have time, it will count up. Okay. All right. So now this is where it gets a bit exciting. I'm going to show you some of the functions. All right. Oh, actually, before we do that, I'm just going to quickly show you up the top here. I feel like I'm keeping you in suspense, but just show you up the top here. So there's a little thing up the top, the dash, dash, dash. And up the top here on the screen, there's a dash, dash, dash. Not quite sure if you can see it. You click on that and it brings up this sub menu. And here it shows you my recipes. So any recipes that you may have saved from Cookie Do, which is the recipe platform. So that will appear in there. My week, if you have done menu planning on your recipe platform, that will appear. They will appear under my week. Recently cooked. Any recipes which you have recently made will appear under your recently cooked. Your settings is awesome, and it actually shows you, you can go in there and you can change your sound. You can, this is where you set up your Wi-Fi. You can also, if I go in there, you can also change your display, your keyboard layout, and you can also put it into transportation mode. So actually, I'll just show you that one. So I've gone into settings, your transportation mode. You pop everything into your bowl, pop everything onto what I do. My simmer basket. So transportation mode is if you are taking your Thermomix somewhere. Okay, so you might be going away on holidays, or you might be going over to a friend's place, popping it in the car. I put my simmer basket in, my measuring cup inside, pop the lid on, put the splash guard on top, come into transportation mode and push activate, and everything locks in. Okay, so it locks your motor, locks your scales, and locks everything into the bowl. you can then turn your machine off by simply holding the silver button for 3 seconds. And then when you arrive at your destination, you simply turn it on and it unlocks itself, just like that. Okay, it's an awesome feature. So that's your transportation mode. Okay. So that's all in your settings up here in the little dash, dash, dash button. Okay. Now it's the exciting part. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm actually going to swipe to the right. So what I'm going to do, swipe to the right, and it brings up the screen. So this is Cookie Do. So this is our recipe platform. So you can search for thousands of recipes. And I've actually got a video talking more about how to use Cookie Do. So if you wanted to have a look at that, please do. You can actually use Cookie Do to search up your favorite ingredient or ingredient you may have in your fridge, and you search it up. It gives you great ideas. You go, yeah, that looks nice. I'm going to make that today, or I might make that during the week, and you can start to build up your menu planning. It is awesome. You can search recipes from around the world, not just Australian recipes, but you can filter it to search recipes from around the world. So check out the video on that one. Okay, so that's your Cookie Do. Come back the other way. I'm going to swipe back to the left now, and it brings up all the functions. So it's awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. And what I love about the Thermomix is these functions just keep getting better and better. And we get more functions that are automatically released that come down to the machine. So someone who bought their machine at the beginning of the release of when it first came out has exactly the same machine as someone who bought it today. Okay, because they're able, it's Wi-Fi connected, the machine automatically updates with all the same software platforms, so which is awesome. All right, so I'm going to show you the functions, quickly run you through the functions. Okay, first one is scales. Scales are fantastic. No more need for your kitchen scales. All right, you just use your Thermomix. It's on your bench, turn it on, turn on your scales, and off you go. I'll show you what I do. So the way I use my scales, is generally that's how your machine is going to be. Okay? You're going to have your measuring cup and the measuring and the lid just sitting on there like that. So what you do is you come into your scales. What I do is simply flip the lid. Okay, simply flip your lid. Pop a bowl on top. You don't have to. You can actually weigh straight onto the lid, but I just pop the bowl onto the lid. Okay, tear that off, and then pop in there whatever the ingredients is that you want to weigh, and that's your scales. Okay, so you can keep on adding to it. It is awesome. So yes, I ditched my kitchen scales and now just use my Thermomix. All right. The next function is dough mode. So dough mode is awesome. I was quite skeptical at how well the Thermomix would knead dough. It's amazing. It's amazing. And if you haven't made pizza dough, please give it a go. It's incredible. Okay, so this is your dough mode function. All you do, seriously, all you do is dial up your time. So I might go for 1:10, for example. Tap on the function, literally turn your selector, and off it goes. As soon as you finish, push stop, and it's going to be done. Excuse me, grab a water. Now, once you're in a function, all you need to do is just swipe to come back to your main screen again. All right, and then just uncheck your function. The next one is turbo. Okay, so turbo is awesome. So turbo is where if you have recipes where they say you want to pulse in a recipe for 1 second or half a second, that's your turbo mode. All right. Pre-clean is fantastic. So I use pre-clean right at the end of my cook. If I'm in the middle of a cook, I will actually use, I'll show you if I come back to the home screen, I'll actually pop 500 mils of water into my bowl, put a little bit of detergent in there, and turn my machine around to speed 10 for about 3 seconds, blast inside, tip it out, and keep on going. Okay. At the end of a cook, though, excuse me, turn on your pre-clean function, and it's awesome. You can actually dial up what you've been making. So depending on what you've been doing, you can use a dough mode, universal, fat or caramel or browning, depending what you're doing. And there's a little eye, you'll notice the little eye at the top there. If you tap on that, that's actually going to give you some information about what the function's about, okay? So you just turn on to whatever you've been making and off it goes, okay? You put a litre of water into your machine with a little pump of dishwashing liquid, a tiny pump. Turn on whatever mode, whatever you've been making, and walk away, and it will heat up your bowl and wash your bowl accordingly, okay? And then you can just pop it straight into the dishwasher. All right, so then I'll swipe back, turn off my pre-clean. The next one is blending. Now, blending is awesome. So if you love smoothies, for example, making smoothies, okay, use your blending mode. What that does, it's very like the home screen where you just automatically, you saw me before, turn on speed 10, it goes straight to speed 10. If I do the same thing with blending, I'll show you what happens. So I turn it right round and you'll hear it start to increase slowly. You hear that? Okay. That's your blending mode. The reason that is awesome is if you've got ice in there, for example, you're making a smoothie, what it does is it allows the blades to actually crush the ice slowly until it's to a point where it's small, and then it's able to just blitz it. That will save your blades. That is the primary reason that blades become blunt in the Thermomix, is that people just blast ice on speed 10 without allowing it to be crushed a little bit first. So that's your blending mode. Okay. The next one is egg boiler mode. Now, I'm not sure about you, but I love eggs, and this is my egg boiler mode. It has revolutionized my life. So with egg boiler mode, all you do is you literally place 2 to 6 eggs around the blades, okay? The blades don't move. You put 2 to 6 eggs around the blades, top it up to 1 litre mark. Excuse me. Top it up to the 1 litre mark. You come into your egg function and you choose how you like your egg. Again, there's the little information screen which will actually tell you how you like your eggs. And if you like dippy eggs, it's probably medium. And you think it's slightly firmer, that comes medium hard boiled. Okay, so that's and you just walk away. And then when it's ready, it'll go bing, and it's all done. Okay. The next function is kettle mode. And kettle mode is literally just boiling kettle. So it's fantastic. So if you've got someone who loves to have their tea, for example, like green tea at 85 degrees, you can do that. You pop your water into your bowl, turn on your kettle mode, dial up your temperature, and off it goes. Okay. The warm-up mode is awesome. Some people choose to use this with their butterfly whisk as well to ensure a really even consistency, but you don't need to. The warm-up mode, so you can pop your food like straight out of the fridge into here, dial up whatever temperature you want your food to be at, tap your function, and off it goes. And it will actually heat your food to the degrees that you've got, and we'll keep it there. And then we'll let you know as soon as it's up to that temperature, which is awesome. Thicken mode. So thicken mode is fantastic for making things like white sauce, bechamel sauce, hollandaise sauce. Okay, that's your thicken. Making curds. Oh my goodness, curds at Christmas time, lemon curd, yum. That's your thicken mode. Again, if you are in a recipe, so for example, you searched up lemon curd, it would actually automatically turn that on for you. Okay, but that's your thicken mode. The next one is rice cooker mode, and it's fantastic. If you've got, again, you can search up recipes specifically for rice, so jasmine rice, brown rice, black rice, wild rice, and they will automatically turn on the rice cooker mode. Alternatively, you can do the absorption method. So you do 1 cup of rice with 2 cups of water, a bit of oil and salt, and off it goes, okay? The fermentation mode, now fermentation, this is for making yogurt. So again, search up a yogurt recipe and it will automatically turn on the fermentation. You might like to do sauerkraut. You might like to do kimchi. That's your fermentation mode, and that's the function that it will turn on for you. Okay. The next one is slow cook. good. It's amazing. The TM6 has the most incredible slow cook functionality. You can slow cook for up to 8 hours, and it's amazing. It is just actually one of my favorite functions. It's incredible the results that you get with the slow cooker. So if you haven't tried it, please give it a go. And that is when I would recommend the blade cover as well. Not all, you don't need to have it for all slow cook recipes, but some specifically things like slow cooked meatballs, that's where you will need a blade cover. So keep an eye out for that. And that comes available as a special, or you can purchase it in the Mix It shop as well. Okay, the sous vide is our last function. So sous vide, I'm not sure if you've heard of sous vide, but it's actually cooking in a low temperature for a long period, and that can go up to 12 hours. And again, you can use your blade cover with that as well. Otherwise, you can certainly use your simmer basket, okay, for your sous vide. You can do things like salmon, but you do need to have silicone pouches or have them cryovac. But you can put your, say, for example, salmon with some butter and lemon into the silicone bag, low cook, and it is absolutely divine. Okay, so they are all your functions. So I hope that's helped. If you have any questions, please let me know. But I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope it does give you a little bit more understanding of what a magnificent machine the TM6 is. And thanks for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed it. Okay, I'll see you all. Bye-bye.